Right, I think we're live. What are we, 5x5, too many microphones. Should be better now. Sorry about that. I have, normally when I'm working during the day and I'm recording everything, I tend to have all the microphones on and I concurrently record all the audio tracks just in case something goes wrong, the headset dies or whatever. But obviously when it comes to streaming, you only want the one source, which is this one. And of course I forget sometimes. Hello everybody, welcome to the Hot Bidet oddity stream. Yeah. Anyway, so this is, like, if any of you watched the stream from the other night when I was trying to do the Xbox, I was getting quite frustrated at that because I've done Xboxes and PlayStations before and this was just frustrating me. And the next day when I set it up, rigged it up how I felt like I really wanted it, all of a sudden it was working fine and everything was great. But the thing is, it was the human element in there that was a problem, that is myself. Now, over the years, I've found I'm not really good or the best at most of the things I do, but I do consider myself to be, at least my thing that I like to do the most is being a tool maker or a solution finder, things like that. And so I thought, you know what, I've got 3 other preheating element type systems and all that, but they're all a pain in the backside to set up, and one of them I haven't even used. I bought it 3 years ago and I still haven't used it yet. It's like whopping great big thing. I just wanted something simple like this. I basically want a steady hand for the hot air in the right location so that I can then stick my eye over it and cook it like an egg, but without the danger. Anyway, so yeah, I went down to the hardware store and I went looking around. I took this nozzle here. I bought one too many of these nozzles a while ago. I didn't realize I actually already had one and I bought a second one. That's fine. It worked out in the end. And I just bought myself a 20mm elbow. And let's see if this actually... I don't want to activate this while I'm doing it. It's not perfect at the moment, but I basically ended up cutting 4 slots out of it. 4 slots in there. And then hammering it over a round end. I'm just going to put this up to the screen so I can actually see it to myself. Yeah. So there's a couple of little gaps in there. And no, I won't be able to solder them, because if I solder them, it will solder. But the trouble is it'll also desolder every time I run it. So anyway, it's not actually fixed in there. I can take it out. I'm just not going to take it out. There. It probably would have worked fine if they hadn't, flared the ends, but who knows. Either way, I'm curious to see if I haven't actually used this yet. I've set it up, but I just haven't used it. And I'm planning on coming up with some sort of lock contraption to hold the wand itself. Although this seems to work well enough. It's a slip fit, but it's sturdy enough that it can stay there. So if I put it on a board, it might be fine. Alright, so yeah, so that seems fun. So really, at this point, it's a case of I've got to work out how much air do I need, what temperature, what's going to work, what's going to cremate the connectors, what sort of distance I need, all that sort of stuff. And this is the start of the journey of experimenting. Now, there's going to be people saying, why don't you just get the proper thing, like, get a Hacko, I think there's a Hacko FR802 or something like that, which basically is what this is what it does. The thing I like about this configuration is that it's low to the bench. So that's barely 5, maybe 600, 6 centimeters or so, which means I have a chance of being able to use the microscope to view what's going on with the board while I do it. Whereas drill a hole and pop rivet it, do I even need to? We'll soon find out. Silicon, if I braze them, that would be fine. Thing is, I probably wouldn't actually even braze it to this section. I just simply want to seal up the holes. Okay, I've separated it now. But you can see where it's matching onto this. I haven't even filed the inside yet, which is probably going to create helpful turbulence, helical style. But this should now just fit back straight on like that. So yeah, it's just merely a friction interference type fit. Yeah. That's it. It's not going anywhere. It's certainly not going to get blown off. So, and chances are the copper has a higher coefficient of expansion, which means as it gets hot, it'll probably lock in tighter. I think. Is cooking an egg dangerous? Yes, it is very, especially if it's your eyeball that is the egg. Oh, the Miles. Hey, Yamara, just saw you there. How's it going? Good to see you. Jim, of course, Stephen, Christopher, Pedro. It's always Pedro. Hey, Peter, I just realised you were here. Normally I chat to you in Jerry's stream. So anyway, there's a little bit of an imbalance. I might just stick something under this end. We're just going to have to try stuff out. I may ultimately end up with it being more like this, off the edge. That gives me an even lower profile. Mind you, my microscope doesn't reach there. Now, that's no good. Yeah, okay. For now, this is sort of like where it's working. Yeah, Moles, that's just it. It's like I see, say, like in Joey's streams and all that, he uses those Hacko vices. What do they call them? Rapid vice or whatever. But they're like a 4 to 6 inch rise, and I can't work with that sort of rise. I really need something down low as much as possible. It's a bit like with those hot tops that I've got for reflowing the boards. They're just too high for me. I really need, no more than 2 inches above this board. Omnivice, thank you very much. Yes, much appreciated. You can't think properly when you're streaming because you're too busy. Your brain's too busy thinking about what you're going to say next. And you don't want to be going, yeah, it drives people mad. Anyway, so for holding the boards, I'm going to get a scissor jack or a lab lift jack, whatever. They're only about $50 or so. But for the moment, we're going to use some good old 4x2, 2x4, to be determined. And I don't know if this is going to be too high, but we'll see. I also don't want to get this stuff too hot, which is why I'm keeping it a fair way away, because this is treated, and you're not supposed to burn this wood. If you burn this wood, treated wood, it's not good for you. So I figure that sort of distance we should be relatively okay. And I'm just trying to find a connector that I can try and knock out. I do have a couple of PlayStation boards and all that, but they're actually working boards. So as you can imagine, I'm rather disinclined to remove a working board. Let's see, HDMI port. There, we've got an HDMI port here. One of these boards was sent in by Jason of Unofficial Mac. Let's get the plastic off though. Don't want that. Yeah, it's a little barbecued, Peter. Even this is actually going to be a bit high, so I really might end up having to go there. Yeah, lots of brain farting. Obviously, each and every single board is going to have a different kind of profile requirement. That makes it complicated. Alright, so this is a pin-through HDMI, but it's a stupidly thin board. Typical. No, what do you want to do here, Paul? Let me go that way. Oh, this sucks already. Oh, where's the HDMI port? There it is. Alright, so we're about, I'd say that's 33 centimeters away from it. I can already tell now it's going to be too high for the microscope. I might try to give it a full lift. Crikey, this bastard's heavy. Oops, forgot about the connector. No, it's not ready to come up anyway. Alright, we are. Good. The HDMI port came out just fine. Up the air on this one. 25%, 460, 2 centimeters away. And these MacBook boards are vicious. Yeah, not liking that. 30. I'll show you the HDMI port in a bit once we finish experimenting with this one. Let's drop some flux on there, see if it helps. The HDMI port came out without flux. This one, on the other hand, has no interest in coming out. The parts even moving? No. MacBooks are harder. 40% air. Basically, I don't want to put too much airflow onto it because it, will damage other parts and connectors. There we go. So it's a difficult connector to get out cleanly. Obviously there's no damage to it. That's nice. But I may have baked the other side. More temperature? No. Anyway, this is the HDMI port. You can see even the dust didn't even get burned. And there's no melting on the corners. There was on an adjacent USB port. But I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty damn happy with that. That's a good start. Now I gotta see how much damage I did to the other side. Yeah, pretty much. That's the trouble. There's too much cooking going on the other side. What is in the field of vision there? Ah, it's a piece of wire. There's a little bit too much cooking going on there. I mean, to be fair, that plastic sticker didn't even really curl off. You hit those things with the hot air and they curl up straight away, so I suppose that's pretty good. Hey, Kristen. So I don't think removing CPUs is going to be in the realm of this particular device. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind trying a PCH. That's a MacBook PCH. I wonder if it's worth a shot. Bring out 15th. Oh my god, 1534s. Alright, so I'm going to use basically the same parameters here and see what happens. I do need to knock the edge bonding off, but I'll do that once it's heated up a bit. This is really awkward, by the way, because I'm in nowhere near my proper orientation of workbench. God damn, board's getting hot. Alright, that's cleared. Okay, we're at 460 and 40% air. Hey, B-Blood. Now, I'm not sure when I should actually put any flux down or not. But yeah, very much out of the comfort zone. Probably way too much flux. Oh no, I've gone back to the Rossmann bad habits. Stephen W, I mean, that's quite possible of what it might be better suited as. Okay, we definitely got to be getting... Like I said, this is all very experimental. This is actually really close. Something's actually holding this down. Probably lifted, destroyed. Yeah, we destroyed plenty of pads there. That's okay. I was getting impatient. But it looks like it might, kind of is possible. Not sure I would do it this way. I think for this sort of stuff I would probably use the more traditional plate heater and then hot air it from above. But it certainly was getting there. Like I said, this is mostly about connectors, this one. Let's see if I can find a heavier, dodgier board. Oh yeah, some solid old Dell pieces of junk. Better take the CMOS battery out, otherwise that could be a rather spectacular fail. Okay, CMOS battery out. You can use a okay, so this is another one of these HDMI ports that I've got pin through. I'm definitely going to have to... No, you do not like being moved back like that, do you? Need a pretty hefty dead weight to stop this thing falling off. Stuff's getting crazy. So crazy. This is going to collapse and fall, I can guarantee it almost. Alright, then let's go. So 460 and 40, I actually think this might be a little excessive for this board. Guess we'll see. I can't zoom out anymore, I'm sorry. I'm definitely happy about being able to see it on the microscope, that's for sure. Yeah, under the polyfuse is just some residual flux. You can see it by the caps as well. Okay, I can see that's warmed up. One side's close. This is getting there. Hey Joey. Easy. I can't touch it yet, it's too hot. Wow, I could do this for a living and start selling clean pull parts. So it's being heated from my finger to there, so yeah, no melting, nothing. That's pretty damn neat. There's just one little bit of solder, but of course we've got to see what damage it did to the board. I still feel 460 is actually a little bit high. See what I mean by this horrible contraption is going to get me killed? Okay, let's have a look what the board looks like. Pedro, you wish. Wow, that is pretty damn amazing. That does not look like any hot air has really been applied there. Okay, that's definitely got me excited. I think Pedro must be doing some pulling on something. I mean, obviously you got to clear your holes if you want to do it that way, or you can do a Joey technique and just let it drop. But yeah, I'm actually quite impressed. I think it really is more of a connector pull type solution than anything else for now. Maybe when I get it more refined. We'll try to take this USB port out. But like I said, I love the fact that I can watch it directly. Get some voyeuristic hot air action. It's kind of like ASMR in your ear, as opposed to other things that end in EAR. How stressful is the components? Well, you see, probably not too bad. Most components go through a double reflow at around about 4 to 5 minutes a piece. Try USB 1466, that's a good test, yeah. We'll do that next. I still think 460 is a little high, so I'm going to come down to... We'll try 440, okay? That's going to take longer. And I don't know how much effect flux is going to have on this. Is the patent office? I don't think there's a need a patent on this one. But yeah, having two hands free is very good. Obviously I'm going to have to clamp this, and you know, there's going to be multitudes of revisions, but yeah, it'll get there. I'm happy with it. Just waiting for it. Remember, this is only a 440 and 40. What's that? Flux is up? What's that mean? Oh yeah, here we go. Easy. Easier than SMC with the shakes. Okay, but you see that one got melted, so that's no good. Yeah, that definitely copped the melt. So this may be a case of you have to work out what it's going to tolerate. So I'd say maybe 400 even. So I guess the problem is you're weighing up. If you've got a lower temperature, it means you're going to have to soak for longer. So you're weighing up the soaking duration of the board versus the survivability of what you're hitting. A date code, I don't know. Is it? Oh yeah, 2023. Surely can't be. At least it didn't melt the neighbour next to it. Alright, let's try a 1466 USB-A port. They are notoriously annoying. Oh, let's check the damage as well. There's a slight tint there of cooking. Like that one there, not so much. That was actually the high temperature, that one. This one here, a little bit of cooking tint. Like I said, not terrible, and we haven't even melted the neighbour, so that's really good. But it's definitely there. Yeah, 1466. Geez, where are you guys? Here we go. No, you're not prepped. I'm trying to find one that's already had the shield knocked off it. Actually, we can use a 4924 probably. It's the same nightmare situation. So this is why 1466s and 1502s are a nightmare. This plastic melts at a very low temperature, and we've got shields, and it's very close together. Now I can do this manually. I have done them manually with, just by hand, and I only had minimal melting on the headphone socket. But I'm kind of curious whether I'm going to have to knock this off or not. I have a feeling I might not have to. But yeah, they are horrendously annoying to get out. If you turn up the temperature of the bidet, it can also act as a hair removal device. Okay, that's an interesting way. Alrighty. To be fair, being a MacBook, I don't want to change it down from 440 because it's going to take forever as it is. So this could take a while. I'm not even sure how I'm going to be able to evaluate whether it's ready or not, other than yanking at it. Yeah, Antonio, it does seem like it's going to be like that. Different parts, different temperatures. Also, a lot of the time with the plastic, the melting is actually because of the impact of the air as opposed to... I'm just going to quickly take this off, sorry, while it's still running, I know. I just want to see if it's... Yeah, see, it's starting to brown that, so... And drop that to 420 and 40. Yep, there we go. Pot lovers coming out. As soon as they hear 420, get some grooving. Well, I gotta check out the brochure, man. Swordtronics fix user powder that absorbs heat on plastic parts but allows the sword to melt. Interesting. This is going to take a little while. MacBook boards are not known for putting up with heat, in the sense of they'll just keep taking that heat. They don't care. Okay, 420 worked well. That's what we said, man. Told you 420 was awesome. Yeah. Did not even melt the little key nubs. That's pretty bloody good. That's really good. It's probably the easiest I've ever removed one. Yeah, the MacBook board is the heat sink. And that did that through that metal shield. Of course, we did melt our battery connector, so that's a minus. That looks mostly like flux. Yeah, there's no neighboring damage other than that battery connector, and to be honest, those battery connectors are extremely whiny. So I'm not surprised about that. But yeah, that I think is just legacy flux that burned up. That's pretty good going, really. That's really good going, actually. Hey Paul Hell, good to see you. Should shield that battery connector. Yeah, well, maybe if I ever cared. Yeah, I don't think I'll worry about that. Alright, what's next? Another HDMI port here. What is this? Lenovo piece of junk board. Okay, we'll do one more HDMI connector at 420 and see what happens. But I'm impressed with that at 420. I might actually try 30% try and stop the spill out. Oh wait, which way is this going? Yet again, another one of these pin-through ones. It's like every board I've got here is a pin-through HDMI. Which is probably a good test. Okay, so air I'm going to drop down to 30%. So we're at 420 and 30%. And still 2 centimeters clear. I think I can probably get down to about 10% at 1 centimeter clear, or you know, something. I think I can get a little closer. Maybe I can find a nozzle that has a... Maybe I can flare that nozzle a little more. Although, to be fair, 20 millimeters is about right. Quit whining, Pedro. Quit whining. Ach, niemand. Yeah, we'll do this one HDMI connector and then I'm going to have to close it up for tonight. But yeah, I think we've proved the concept can work. I think it's just a case of... Oh shit, that's melted already. Fuck me. I mean, oh my, that... That was super fast. Yeah, definitely 420 is fine. 420 and 30 was perfectly fine. And look at that, no melt. I think it's going to be a case of I'm just going to keep dropping temperatures until I get to the point where it just does take too long. That's just perfect. Let's see what the damage is on the board. So this is the other side of the board. You would not really know that that had been removed using this device. And that wasn't even with any extra flux. That was just simply as it was. Put the heat on it and pulled apart. I'm loving this. I'm really loving this. Finally I got a win that I'm happy about, that I'm excited about. So I think I'm gonna do a few more tests over the coming days and rig up things. Hey look, this has got to be a 2-layer one, is it? Let's take this USB-C port off. Okay. I am aware of micro. This is probably going to be a bit of a cheat because the board's already somewhat warm. Now you can put a new one in using... Yeah, that's the other trick I've got to get around to putting them back in. That can be for tomorrow. I don't think I need to make a kit. I think people can... Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Makes Joey look like a hack. Oh wait, yeah, okay. And that was a double one as well. Oh yeah, so that's basically Nintendo's Switch there. What was that, a minute? I think I could easily go down to maybe 390 on that, just to go easier on the board. I'll have to get myself some scrap Switch boards and try it. But yeah, I reckon 390 probably would have done it. Loving it. Alrighty. Okay, so what are you doing? Don't misbehave. Talking to the light switch. Alright, that's it for tonight. I think we can definitely call this concept a win. Now it's a case of making it more usable because, you know, using wood blocks and relying on vices to weigh things down is not a good idea, and you can easily imagine it's going to stuff up. But I don't think it's going to be ideal for removing big chips too much, but definitely for the purpose of which I made it, to get these connectors off, it's doing fantastic. That's really, really nice. And as we know, once you get more experience with it, it's going to be a lot easier, a lot less stressful. So yeah, I'm feeling like I'm in my element now. Now I just have to rig this up. The nice thing is, this little thingy I've got here, this little retaining clamp, it actually is just a slip fit. So I don't even have to really dedicate, you know, it's not a long process for me to set this up. I basically just have to connect the nozzle, slip it in, wind up the height, clamp the board. I will have to find something for clamping boards. Like, even though I may have the jack to raise and lower the board, I'll still need to be able to secure the board. I've got a few ideas for that. That's not really the hard thing. What is interesting though is that that copper pipe has now turned a very lovely purple, and yeah, makes me wonder what sort of terrible toxic fumes did I ingest. I do have my extractor on, and it does have a big carbon filter, but Hopefully nothing too bad. Maybe this is not high quality copper, or maybe this is just now very soft annealed copper. Who knows? It did the job, and I'm happy. Alright, enough of my excitement. I'm out of here. You all take care. Thank you very much for watching. It was a win tonight. Thank you. I'll see you next time.